All right, hey Kathy, welcome back. It's been a couple weeks since we met, and why don't you tell me kind of what you've been up to since then?
Well, um, in the meantime, in the last month or so, I've gotten married.
Wow, yeah.
A wonderful man makes me very happy. Um, and also, kind of on the flip side, my two daughters have moved away with their husbands.
Okay.
At the beginning of the month, my daughter Chrissy, her husband got a job in Alaska,
Oh wow.
so they moved to there, so quite a ways away. The other daughter, Nicole, and she actually got an opportunity to start a business in Minnesota. So they moved to
Okay.
Minnesota. So they're not even within driving distance. So it's kind of making me feel a little more that empty nest now because they're not around.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right. How have you been? How you been feeling with that? How are you dealing with that right now?
Not real well. I'm really feeling kind of displaced and kind of not needed. I mean, my husband needs me, and that's wonderful. But I kind of feel like that's not enough.
Okay. You do have your husband around. How are you? How are you caring for them now? How's your day look? I guess.
Well, pretty much I get up in the morning, I get my husband's breakfast for him, and we sit and kind of have our coffee and talk to each other
Sure.
and enjoy each other's company, and then he goes off to work.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm just left alone with my little dog, which I totally love, and I get her breakfast for her and everything. But I just kind of feel kind of lost during the day, like I don't have a passion anymore.
Okay. Well, I could definitely see that. I can tell. In our past conversations, you're definitely a nurturer. And, maybe that's something we need to kind of pull back out and pull into your life. What are things you're passionate about? What do you really care about?
Oh, kids. I love kids. Miss my grandchildren immensely. And, I was thinking, well, if I could just figure out something that maybe I could do with kids,
Okay.
then I think my life would be fulfilled.
Okay. So if we can find some way, you can get involved with kids. That could take the place maybe in like either a daycare setting. Maybe you could just be a nanny if you just wanted part-time work where you can take care of them during the day. Do you think that would give you a nice sense of direction or purpose?
Yeah, I thought about the daycare thing once, but I thought, well, you kind of have to have, I think you have to have some certifications and all that. And I kind of wanted it more, now that you've mentioned it about being a nanny might work because I really miss the home life of having my kids home or my grandkids here. That might really work for me.
Okay. So yeah, we could maybe find a way to get you put into that. Um, but what gives you that passion for kids? Why do you want to work with kids so bad?
Oh, because like when my grandchildren were born, taking them to the zoo, letting them see a zebra for the first time.
Yeah.
Their first Christmas, all those things through a child's eyes just makes life more fulfilling.
I could see that. I could definitely see that can make life a lot more fulfilling, being able to experience those first experiences with them. Why don't you tell me a little bit more too? What kind of you're working with kids? Obviously you're really connected with your own children. Would you want to have maybe a sense of mentorship or maybe a little bit of involvement with the parents too?
Oh, of course, yeah. I would feel really fulfilled if I could maybe help these young parents with some of the child rearing, just kind of help them with what the development stage their children are in and kind of help them through that. That would make me feel extremely important.
Okay. And so we want to conquer that too, where you feel important, you feel needed, because that's really going to drive you. I feel like that's going to drive you from what I'm hearing you
Yeah,
say, right?
I think so too, yeah.
Okay, so we'll find somewhere, maybe a family where you can work with a younger family, how many, maybe 2 or 3 kids at the most, probably?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So why don't we start working towards that, our time's kind of starting to wrap up here, but what I really want to focus on is maybe some goals we can set out, in the next 2 weeks before we meet again. Maybe you think you could jump on a website or check out some ads and just look into maybe what it takes to be a nanny or what opportunities are out there?
Yeah, I've actually been kind of thinking about that. I'm glad you mentioned that. I know there's one website that I can get on that I've seen on the commercials that maybe I could set up my profile and just kind of see, what the parents are looking for. Maybe read some of the other ads that they're putting and when they're looking for a nanny. and hopefully I get some interviews before I get come back to my next session.
Yeah, I think that'll be key too, is finding you the right family. It's not just, the
Right.
perfect fit for them, but you want to feel like you're wanted.
Exactly.
I could definitely feel that. So let's focus on that in the next 2 weeks. Just set up a profile. Kind of put your name out there, and just kind of, I guess, put your pole in the pond, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That sounds like fun.
Okay, well, let's make our goal when we meet 2 weeks from now. Maybe you just have that profile set up, and hey, if you do get an interview or someone contacts you, you can feel free to email me if you want, and we can kind of, explore those options and maybe see what that family looks like.
Okay.
All right, well, let's meet again in 2 weeks, and I look forward to seeing you again, Kathy.
All right, thank you.